Someday we'll be without truth, and baby's bad news. Oh, you got to hold me and fill me up, knowing that I never had your way with love. I know you're lonely, sometimes I feel it too, but I know that they're coming, I know, but you got the nights in you. Hey, well, do you wanna ride with me or tear up the night with me? Oh, you got the nights in you. Hey, and do you wanna vibe with me or drown in the light to me? Oh, you got the nights in you. All alone, and I know what I got to do without you. I know what I choose, 'cause someday we'll be without truth, and I knew, but you got the nights in you. Hey, well, do you wanna ride with me or tear up the night with me? Oh, you got the nights in you. Hey, and do you wanna vibe with me or drown in the light to me? Oh, you got the nights in you. Do you wanna come home? There's a fierce fire on your desire, and I've gotta know. Do you wanna come back? Oh, it's a harder time. There's a room I see, it waits for me in another shirt. But you got the nights in you. Hey, and do you wanna ride with me or tear up the night with me? Oh, you got the nights in you. Hey, and do you wanna vibe with me or drown in the lights with me? Oh, you got the nights in you. Hey.
Well, beautiful Saturday afternoon here in Les Sables de Lawn. What a sky, what a beautiful, iconic landscape. It is this wonderful channel that welcomes the Vendée Globe finishers back to the heart of the town, which owes its reputation to the Vendée Globe. And we're welcoming back Clarisse Crémer this afternoon, the skipper who finished 11th in the Vendée Globe, in her second Vendée Globe. She arrived back early yesterday, Monday morning, and had to go into La Rochelle. And of course, so it's a slightly surreal situation for her. She's been up to Paris, she's done all the media rounds, but it's now time to enjoy the channel. And I'm joined by Di Cafari. A great race by Clarisse, and a well-earned channel today.
Absolutely, and how strange for a skipper. I mean, Benjamin Dutroux spoke of it yesterday, to actually have two arrivals, because when she crossed the line at 3 o'clock in the morning on Monday, it was just at that start of that big storm that closed the entrance to this infamous channel arrival in Les Sables de Lawn, and she had to divert to La Rochelle before she could even see her team. And she was surprised at the welcome she had there, but she's earned herself two arrivals. But this is the one that counts. This is where the race started. This is where she wants to come back to, and it's very different conditions. Lovely flat water out there. It's dry, nothing like Monday in the depths of the night when she arrived at the end of her Vendée Globe.
And indeed, one of the bonuses of that this slightly surreal arrival is she can pretty much pick her time, and a lovely weekend afternoon now. We know the crowds are out for her, probably not quite as frenetic as the welcome for Benjamin Dutroux, the homecoming hero, yesterday afternoon. That was really off the scale, but Clarisse really respected, and really has earned this channel. And Dee, she sailed a really super race, didn't she?
Absolutely fabulous race. I mean, her second Vendée Globe, she had such a difficult lead up to the race. It wasn't your average 4-year cycle. She had a lot of turmoil. She'd become a mum. There were a lot of different circumstances. Her team was an Anglo-French team, which changed the dynamic quite a lot. But that 2-year focus of concentration did allow her to take that start line. And she had a great race. 77 days, 15 hours, 34 minutes at sea, 11th place, slightly better than her 12th place in 2020. But actually, it was a so much faster race, so much more intense, as we've heard from all the skippers that have finished so far that you've spoken to. The intensity was at a different level, and she actually had a really good grasp of this race. She commented on how calm she had been and how she managed her emotions during the race, and she really enjoyed it. It was quite nice for her to kind of seek that redemption of being on the start line in the race and then achieve the Vendée Globe.
And indeed, I think she really profited from being up against other boats. She was always in contention generally with other boats round about her, and I think she really enjoyed that and then profited it from a performance point of view.
Yeah, and I think we've heard that time and again from the other skippers now, that actually that intensity of having boats alongside and racing together, almost helping you push the performance. You can't get the opportunity to back off. You can't get the opportunity to take a rest. It's always pushing. And I think that's why we're seeing these times so dramatically improved on 4 years ago. Yes, the weather was different, but they're sailing at a different level and these boats perform at a different level. And she overcame some massive obstacles during her race. And actually, that was one of the things she commented on, of a real step forwards for her of managing the technical issues and the management of the boat and overcoming obstacles, not just through the guidance of her team, but for herself as well.
I think that's true. I think the main thing was she didn't allow herself to get spooked by these problems. She took a very pragmatic, step-by-step approach. And as you say, backed up by her team. I think she got through them. I'm thinking particularly of the issue with her computers. Her computer system got soaked with water coming down below, and she then had to pretty much take the systems to pieces and cannibalize one computer, which I think has lasted her all the way to the finish. But that was a really tough time for her.
Well, if we think about trying to do that in the comfort of our own home,
Exactly.
in dry, cold conditions, most of us wouldn't choose to try and rebuild one computer from 2 damaged ones. And she did that in a bucking Bronco, damp, difficult conditions. But not only did she do it, she got it to work, and it worked at the end. And we know how technical these boats are, how important that information that's driven on the computer is for their performance and their safety.
But she's just waiting with her team on a mooring just now. She should come into the channel starting at in 10 minutes. But nice time to enjoy being out on the water with her team, who've really backed her up all the way through the race, and she's acknowledged that in her initial interviews. And so a little bit of time to just enjoy the surroundings before she comes into the channel in about 10 minutes time. But Dee, the boat was previously Charlie Dallin's. It was a super well prepared boat with a great record.
That's right. VPLP built at CDK Technologies, a Mer Agité project. Charlie Dallin showed us in the edition 4 years ago at what its capability was. He crossed the line first. He finished second on redress, and it was, a real kind of hot property. And Clarisse was lucky enough to get her hands on that boat. And I think she grew to love the boat and manage it really well. She said that she never felt out of her depth. She just grew to feel more and more comfortable. And I think that's something that the new qualification process allows, with it over a period of all 4 years, that constant racing and experience on the boat and mileage on the boat. They can get comfortable with things. And they go into the Vendée Globe with so much more confidence. And we see that now with this attrition rate this year being one of the lowest ever, I think.
But in the end, her program was relatively compact. She didn't have a lot of time to prepare and train and get used to the boat. And as you said, it was a little bit dramatic at times. She had different obstacles to overcome. But I think that in the end, I think these things have made her stronger and better able to deal with this race, perhaps.
I think you're right. I think that resilience, that getting back up every time she was knocked down, and she felt that for a couple of years it was just continuous being knocked back and one obstacle after the other. Even her qualifying process, which was quite tight on time, meant that she had to stop in the islands on the transatlantic to repair something and then complete the race. She had to complete that race, and when you're under that kind of pressure, it's hard. It's tiring. It takes a lot of toll on you, not only physically but emotionally. But I think that put her in a good position to be as strong as she has been for this race.
And let's not forget that she is a competitor. She wants to compete and away with a solid, respectable performance. And I think that was as much as what hurt her in the Transat as much as anything. Because although she had to finish in the end, she had to stop into the Azores and make these repairs with her team. And then it was just a case of making sure 100% that she had the boat finishing to ensure her qualification. But I'm sure she will get a big welcome. We were coming into work and you see people heading for the channel and the beaches through the day. And of course, on Monday, reunited with her little daughter Mathilde, who celebrated her second birthday when Clarisse was at sea.
It's lovely to see the boat there filled with children having this experience of going in the channel. I mean, such an inspirational character. Clarisse communicates so well, but here she is sharing it with future generations. You never know, one of those kids sitting on the boat could be
That's
another Vendée Globe skipper in the future.
Indeed, we know so many skippers who have been exposed to the race early on, thinking of Sébastien Simon in particular, and Charlie Dallin with the Transac Jacques Vabre. Growing up with the race on your doorstep or being exposed like this can be just a spark that ignites the fire that makes you want to do the Vendée Globe in the future. But Clarisse really loving it, just so relaxed. And
yeah, I mean, we've got the advantage that she's had a few days of sleeping in a bed, eating, showering, rested. But actually, the media whirlwind that will have happened from her arrival on Monday night, although into La Rochelle, but as you say, she's been to Paris, she's met all the media demands and done her interviews. But this is now a kind of time for enjoyment. She's not stressed about stepping ashore, viewed by many. It's just like this is her time to shine in that channel welcome that is just overwhelming. And I remember Mike Golding saying that if you, for any reason, don't manage to finish your Vendée Globe, that's the bit you miss out on most, is that welcome that Les Sables d'Olonne give you. No matter who you are, when you finish, what time of day it is, that welcome, all those people, the thousands of people that line the channel are there just for you. And it is incredible.
Indeed, it was interesting then, just speaking with Sam Davis, saying how much she really appreciated that part of it for that very reason, that she'd been missing that since 2009, although she'd started 4 races in total. This was the one that really she wanted to finish, and she did. And Clarisse has a 100% record then after the last race. So these are some images of Clarisse finishing into La Rochelle. Big welcome for her then. A little bit of a dress rehearsal for today, perhaps, but really lovely to see that everybody turned out in La Rochelle at very short notice. And we know there's thousands of people, but of course La Rochelle's not that far away. It's only a couple of hours by sea and an hour and a half by road. So I think there was a bit of an exodus down there anyway of race fans. But the entry to the channel just beginning now.
That's right, and I, fair play to the fans for making it special, because she was actually quite worried when she got that message from Alan Roberts, her co-skipper, of, it's too dangerous to come into Les Sables d'Olonne. We're not going to get on board. You have to go to La Rochelle and we'll meet you there. She kind of thought that she was on her own, and I think that welcome that La Rochelle put on was so good. But we can see the crowds in Les Sables d'Olonne literally doing what they do best for the Vendée Globe. This Vendée race really come out in style. Beautiful weather on a Saturday afternoon in perfect conditions. That this is now Clarisse's time to really enjoy the real finish for her Vendée Globe.
Indeed, nicely timed, as we said. She has that luxury of Saturday afternoon, the weekend. And of course, another skipper who finished the last race, which was beset by COVID, and therefore crowds were absolutely minimal. So a time for a double celebration, Dee.
That's right. Actually, I'd even forgotten that back in the 2020 edition, the crowds weren't there, and I remembered it at the start, but you forget that they will have missed this at their finish of their race. So yes, an exceptional experience now for Clarisse that she didn't get to enjoy last time.
Anyway, a lot of water gone under the bridge since then. This programme run out of Gosport. It's a quite an international programme, Dee.
Yeah, it's nice. We had a peak of about 7 British entries at one time, and it's been harder and harder for the UK to keep their hold in this race. But we've seen this edition be more international than ever before. We've seen some the international skippers of Justine Metro and our British sailor Sam Goodchild finishing in 8th and 9th place, and Sam Davies coming in, who the French have adopted, but we claim her as a Brit as well. She was born here. So to have another international campaign, and that based itself out of Gosport, reminded the British people that we have been involved in this, and it is something that we can do, and hopefully that'll inspire other British sailors and hopefully move that market for more internationals to come into this race in the future. If people want to know why they do their sea survival courses, it's so that you can finish the Vendée Globe and hold your flares safely when you come in. Although I have to say that yesterday on Benjamin Dutrox's entrance, he had a few dodgy flares that didn't go off for him.
He did. I think these were the ones that were lying around his boatyard or on people's boats that he went and checked the out-of-date flares, but he was certainly no shortage of flares for Benj yesterday. But great images of Clarisse. Such a well-deserved welcome and a perfect afternoon for it. A real counterpoint to the conditions she had that Monday. But Clarisse was quite a late starter when it comes to ocean racing.
Yeah, she was, but she kind of earned her credits, by the Mini Transat. She then went on to join the Figaro, so she took the traditional route of learning her skills, but obviously it was quite fast-tracked and in a short period of time, and didn't start from, a really early age. But she impressed everybody straight away. And I think then when she went into the IMOCA circuit in 2018 and that Vendée Globe in 2020, I think she just bowled everybody over. She broke that record set by Ellen MacArthur that had stood for so long, being the fastest female. That, yet again, she beat it this year, but it was Justine Metro that took that title by 12 days. It's such an incredible addition, this race. But I think that's what really put Clarisse in everybody's mind, was this incredible communicator, incredible performance, and somebody a little bit like Sam Davies, who you see smiling because they genuinely are loving what they're doing. But also Clarisse wears her heart on her sleeve, and when it all goes wrong, she lets you know when she's feeling bad as well. So it becomes very real, very authentic for people following her.
Get really invested in Clarisse, and I think that's been really the way we've lived her race this time and last time. Probably less so, as Dee said, in terms of her emotions. She's managed her emotions so much better, but then that, I guess, comes with experience. But she was destined for a business career originally. She has a business degree from one of the big Paris business schools. She set up an adventure travel business initially, and then she got into the Mini. And she was very much at the forefront of kind of social media at that stage, and developed this brand, if you like, Clarisse sur l'Atlantique, and made her fun little videos, which gave her great awareness and became the platform that she built on to do the Mini Transat in 2017, when she finished second in the series class, in the production boat class.
And a really different dynamic for Clarisse this year as well, because Tanguy Leturquet, her husband, is also in the race. And obviously she didn't have that dynamic last race. So she met him before she took on her Mini Transat. So they met while she was a business student, and he encouraged her to go offshore sailing. And so you can imagine the stress levels within the house of both of them preparing a Vendée Globe campaign, and then obviously following each other as well as racing their own race. And he's in the heat of a battle now with those really close 8 boats due to come in the next few days. So it's an incredible story when you think of the dynamic and how their family dynamic has changed. And as you say, both of them not being there for Mathilde's birthday, but that's the role model she wants to show her daughter, that anything is possible if you put your mind to it.
And indeed, Tanguy really pulled himself up from a very base level in terms of funding and getting his project off the ground. Of course, supported by Clarisse, but you'd have to say he's a sailor who's outperformed his boat, as he has done consistently. And Clarisse has got so much respect and admiration for his race as well, which is really nice. And he'll be in the early part of next week. What a beautiful afternoon. You could not really have wished for nicer conditions, considering it's the 1st of February.
And such a stark contrast to how she finished, the conditions she finished in, which were a little wet and wild, to say the least. what always overwhelms me when you see them come into the channel waving, smiling, everything's calm and controlled. Yes, the team are on board, but that boat and that sailor have been through so much in the last 77 days. And Clarisse had her own issues that started really early on. I think it was day 4 when she lost her big Jenica over the side that she couldn't recover after spending hours trying. And that was quite a key sail before the light winds of the doldrums. And she thought she was really going to miss out, but she didn't get disheartened and actually sailed very, very cleverly to accommodate that sail that was missing from her wardrobe.
In fact, it was just after that, and just only 4 days after the start, that it was her daughter's birthday. So all kinds of emotions that she had to deal with straight off the bat, and all the time sailing in relatively light winds that were difficult to prepare a strategy for.
And despite her setbacks with her Jenica loss, her hydraulic ram, she had some sail repairs to do, she had her computers as an issue, she had her foil jacks of her foils broken. I mean, the list is quite long when you go into the detail. She was so consistent. She never really lost her pace with those that she was surrounded with. And at one stage, just in south of Australia, she caught up to Sam Goodchild in 7th place. And it was only as they entered the Pacific that they lost. The front overtook them, and that was when she was with Benjamin Detroit and Sam Davies. And they lost that train into the Pacific. And then they sailed together, of which they remained together all the way through until they crossed the equator neck by neck. And it was then she took a penalty for a broken seal on a survival bag by accident. And then had some good fortune in the North Atlantic, cleared away from Sam Davies and just stayed just ahead of the front and the big storm that allowed her to finish with Benjamin Detroit.
So really coming into the heart of Les Sables d'Olonne now, where the biggest population of the crowd is, on the corner on both sides of the channel.
And it's interesting because the channel's so narrow, the volume of noise goes up incredibly. Like, she'll be overwhelmed with the noise alone, let alone the volume of people that are out on such a beautiful day.
I think as much as anything, Dee, that smile tells you the story of a race, doesn't it? It's just overwhelmed by the welcome.
Yeah, and because she's been living it every day and just dealing with, as Mishda says, there's one problem every day, that's if you're lucky. You know, she's just been pushing and pushing and pushing. Sometimes you forget the enormity of what you've achieved, and something like this entrance into Port Olona and having all these people give you the recognition you deserve, it's a reminder of how big the deal of finishing a Vendée Globe is and how special it is.
It's also nice to have the team on the boat, of course. That's a regular feature, but they can share the emotions, share the satisfaction of a job well done, getting their boat to the finish line in the hands of Clarisse. Alan Roberts, we can see there, who's Clarisse's co-skipper, who has aspirations for 2028. And all this is fuel to his fire for the future.
Plus proche, s'il vous plaît. Enfin, on ralentit un peu. On la laisse revenir un peu vers nous.
And really, yeah, a lot of people out, as you might imagine, but the banks of the channel really are packed. So L'Occitane, not new to the Vendée Globe D.
No, they were with Armel Tripon before, and sadly his race ended prematurely. He didn't make it around, and then Clarisse has a relationship and developed that relationship and have taken them on this Vendée Globe with success. So that will be really important for Occitane en Provence.
Of course, they are very much a global brand, known around the world, and I think it's been good for them.
And what's really nice, we can see with the crowds, they've all lined the channel to see her in, and then they all walk just ahead of the boat, because what they're trying to do is get into the race village, where once Clarisse is on the dock, she'll go up and address the crowd on the stage. So they get to enjoy Clarisse's moment from beginning to end.
It'll be interesting to see, Dee, what Clarisse does next.
Yeah, and I think the Vendée is so all-consuming that you think you know what you want, but then you forget how tired you are until you finish, and then it takes a little bit of time to digest everything and kind of make a plan for what you really want to do next. And that takes a lot of conversations with team members, with sponsors, with partners, and then in your heart what you really want to do. So it will be interesting. The season starts super quick for these IMOCA boats, and it's a big year with a Fastnet year and the Transat Delors, which used to be the Transat Jacques Vabre at the end of the year. So it's a bit more of a double-handed program. But they need to start planning, because also the qualification process means that to make it easier, they need to be regularly racing each year to acquire the points and the miles to secure one of the 40 places available for the Vendée Globe in 2028. Well, there was talk in the race, wasn't there, from Clarisse, that she thought she'd been hallucinating when she got really tired off Brazil and it was really complex. But she's definitely not hallucinating today. All these people are there for her.
Indeed, if anything, a dream come true, and a dream that she's pursued consistently since the last race. And as we said, or alluded to, some well-known traumas and bumps in the road of all different types. And I think overcoming them, overcoming the entire race, just makes a day like this all the sweeter. and really, I think, has earned a huge amount of respect for a race D.
I totally agree. As a competitor, as a sailor, but also showing that tenacity and that resilience of just not getting beaten. As a character, her resilience, her mental capacity is so strong, and that's a real skill and a talent to have. And I don't think anybody should underestimate Clarisse after the last couple of years that we've seen from her, for sure.
And the yellow Crocs.
Yeah, I'm not really sure I'm into that, but it's a team uniform. They all wear them, and I have to say, offshore sailing Crocs work brilliantly. But they should stay offshore sailing. Maybe I'm not too sure if I'm sold on them on arrival. For a seaside town that's got a huge beach and is a fishing village, this is a wonderful winter advert for Les Sables d'Olonne.
It is. It's not, the weather's not always like this. I think I can say that with having had a little bit of experience of living in Les Sables d'Olonne, but it really has turned out beautiful or nice. Not so cold now for Clarisse's welcome into Les Sables d'Olonne. And again, it's great for the boat owners who keep their boats in the Port Alona Marina to have a ringside seat.
With a perfect aerial view to demonstrate what we know so well, a really infamous harbour and marina, just because of this incredible race that takes place every 4 years. The 10th edition this year.
Just top of the picture, you can just see that exodus, that massive humanity just working their way down the sides of the marina to try and get in to listen to Clarisse when she takes the stage in a few minutes. So she will arrive at the Ponton d'Honneur, with the red carpet. The welcome, as usual, from the president of the Vendée region, president of the SAM Vendée, the organisation which is attached to the region which owns and runs the Vendée Globe, and the mayor of Les Sables d'Olonne. They're both out for every finish.
What's been really lovely to see as these boats have been arriving is all the skippers that have previously arrived are there to support their peers as they come in and congratulate them, because it's the skippers that know exactly what they've just been through and how they've done it. And actually for Clarisse going into La Rochelle, as disappointed as she was, Benjamin Detroit also went in and they could have a little practice warm-up party in La Rochelle to celebrate the fact that they'd arrived.
And I think Benjamin has been pretty much partying ever since. And
I'm surprised we
he'll-
haven't seen some more red beards around the harbour today.
don't know. I'm surprised Clarisse has not got one, but you never know. But there's the race fleet in. A couple of boats have left and are back in their home ports. We've seen Massif and Paprak Arkea back in Lorient and Concarneau respectively. As we said before, the boats are required by the race protocols. They have to stay here for 2 weeks. In many respects, it's a more, for visitors, it's as interesting to see the boats when they come back and see the skippers when they come back as it is back in November to come down to the start. Certainly quieter, and then you could say it's almost more instructive to see the boats afterwards.
Oh, I think you can see so much of what's happened over the last 80 days of the race that you followed when you go down the dock and you see them after that experience, and you can, you remember the stories and you can see the bumps and bruises that the boats have undertaken. You only have to look at Boris Herman's Militsia Sea Explorer to see his foil strapped into place and, how hard it worked for those final miles. Or indeed local hero Sebastian Simon finishing third but with a broken foil.
So you can see the crowd waiting on the dock. And as you can no doubt hear the music in the background, waiting to welcome Clarisse in the next few minutes.
And the skippers get to choose their arrival music and they get to choose their arrival meal, Andy.
That's right. As funnily enough, there's a few who've chosen not to have a meal, but Sam Goodchild chose fish and chips. There's a few looking forward to steak and chips. I love it. I love the big giant Clarisse heads and Super Clarisse. And Les Sables d'Olonne is absolutely bouncing for the arrival of L'Occitane in Provence. And such a well-deserved welcome. Clarisse Crémer then 77 days, 15 hours, 34 minutes, 28 seconds, 11th place. It's still remarkable, Dee. She's only 34. They've done 2 Vendée Globes at that age is, for me, it's very, very impressive.
Absolutely. I mean, to have 2 really successful Vendée Globes under her belt at that age is incredible. And that's, testament to the character that she is. There's plenty more there if she wants to do them, that's for sure. Not the most manoeuvrable of boats, and definitely not the most manoeuvrable with thousands of people watching. but that's why every boat will dock with a rib nearby so they can help push the boat where it needs to go.
So docked and progressing to be alongside in the next few minutes, the next few seconds indeed.
Allez, Clarisse. Ah, salut Clarisse. Non, là.
Just saying hello everyone. Oh, there we go. This is interesting. This is something new. We're seeing welcome on board, Mr. President. In the champagne moment. And the mayor, Monsieur Moreau.
You reckon you can ease? Not really.
Ça c'est fait pour LBD, c'est ça?
No, I don't think so. I just want to get it.
Alors attends, je me suis peut-être améliorée depuis lundi.
Not wasting any time there.
On m'a demandé des trucs avec l'équipe en fait.
Ah bon? Moi j'obéis, hein, vous me dites.
Bah sinon faites les interviews maintenant. Et on
Alors,
Raconte-nous, t'as eu le temps de digérer, mais ça valait le coup quand même.
oui, ah bah oui, carrément. Moi j'ai eu de la chance, j'ai eu 2 arrivées en une. Finalement, j'ai tout gagné. C'était un peu dur. J'aurais bien aimé ne pas avoir le moment en mer où on me dit que la ligne d'arrivée du Vendée Globe n'est plus vraiment là où elle est censée être. Mais par contre là, c'est tout gagnant. C'est trop cool.
Qu'est-ce qui t'a traversé là pendant ce chenal?
Bah, c'est juste de la joie, franchement c'est trop sympa. Du coup c'est vrai que le fait d'être un petit peu redescendu après la ligne d'arrivée, bah, ça permet, c'est juste la fête et on célèbre avec tout le monde et c'est trop cool quoi, c'est juste une fête.
Et puis ta course quand même, t'as eu le
Ouais.
temps aussi de bien digérer. Une course géniale. Ah ouais.
Ouais, carrément, c'était une belle course. Je pense qu'après 4 jours, on n'a pas encore tout le recul nécessaire à 5 jours pour vraiment savoir ce qui s'est passé, mais j'ai eu le temps de digérer un petit peu et ouais, c'était carrément un Vendée Globe comme un cadeau, c'était trop bien. Il y a forcément eu des moments difficiles, hein, c'est jamais magique, mais c'était au-delà de mes attentes et je suis super heureuse de m'être battue pour y être et de m'être battue en mer et j'ai aucun regret, donc c'est trop chouette.
Et puis sportivement, une super régate.
Ouais, ça c'était vraiment très différent de 2020. Pour ça, c'est que j'ai jamais fait les choses à moitié en mer, quoi. C'était tout le temps à fond. À aucun moment, enfin quand il faut renvoyer un riz, même pour 1 heure, tu le fais. Enfin, c'est impressionnant et du coup ça donne un espèce de rythme, mais en fait ça te donne l'impression d'être pas vraiment tout seul. En fait, t'as tout le temps des concurrents à côté, tout le temps, t'es à chaque carto, t'es en train de te demander ah là là, c'est quoi sa moyenne sur 4 heures et tout. Et ça porte en fait, ça porte énormément. Donc c'est un petit peu différent de quand c'est le mode full aventure, mais c'était génial. Et du coup, j'ai l'impression d'avoir appris des tonnes de trucs et ça aide aussi pour. En fait, au fur et à mesure, on se surprend à être dans ce rythme-là. Puis quand ça fait 3 semaines qu'on est dans ce rythme-là, on se dit bah pourquoi pas 1 mois et pourquoi pas 2 mois et pourquoi pas 77 jours quoi. Et c'est ce qu'on a fait, donc c'est trop cool.
Et sur un bateau particulièrement exigeant, ton premier tour du monde, c'est un foiler.
Voilà, ouais, c'est la première fois que je fais un tour du monde sur un foiler, enfin comme d'autres, mais c'est vrai que ça rajoute. En fait, ce qui est un peu particulier, c'est que dès qu'il y a 14-15 nœuds de vent, bah, en fait, on est à 20 nœuds et ça fait que tout est compliqué à bord, quoi. La vie est compliquée à bord. Quand il faut bricoler, bah, c'est compliqué. Et donc, quand il y a de la pétole ou un moment avec un peu moins de vent, c'est pas du tout repos. C'est oh là là, il faut que je puisse aller à l'avant, dehors, machin. Enfin, tous les trucs que je peux pas faire quand je vais à 20 nœuds. Et ça crée une tension qui est parfois dure à vivre et qui enlève un peu le côté contemplation de la mer, qui est parfois un peu triste, mais en même temps c'est des machines géniales et c'est hyper gratifiant de réussir à les faire fonctionner, donc les deux se compensent.
Quelques mots en anglais?
Quelques mots en anglais, wouh!
Sensations.
Heureusement que j'ai dormi ces derniers jours.
What about your feelings?
My feelings today or about the whole Vendée Globe? Well, it's mainly joy. It's super nice to be here. I'm super happy to be finally in Vendée, in Les Sables. And I'm super proud also of all what we have managed to do with the team. This boat just managed to be on the finish line, and it's not only my job. It's not only my work. It's the whole work of a team. So. Super proud, super happy, and it's great to be here.
And what about your race, your second Vendée Globe on foiler?
Yeah, it was relentless. It was super hard sometimes because you never can rest for a minute, otherwise you lose on your other competitors. And when you have an issue, you wonder how you're going to deal with this issue without slowing down, which is not always easy because this boat easily go very fast. So it was, but I was quite happily surprised by how I managed to live on this boat even when it was going so fast, and I managed to sleep well and to eat well, and it was a huge success for me to manage to find my balance like that.
Merci.
Merci à vous.
Bravo Clarisse, en tous les cas, tu nous as
Merci
fait-
Alain.
tu nous as
Ouais,
fait-
c'est gentil.
tu nous as vraiment fait rêver. Il fallait que tu arrives.
Oui, ouais.
rappelle qu'on en a beaucoup.
So congratulations from Monsieur Leboeuf.
C'est gentil.
Super proud of her.
Je peux pas être la seule, mais.
Non, mais t'en fais pas. Non, vraiment.
Merci Alain, c'est gentil.
Je te laisse avec moi.
Qu'est-ce qu'on fait maintenant, dites-moi? Salut, oui, carrément. Ouais, carrément. Alors voilà. La plus grande
So she'll speak to the
de tout le monde est club.
Ouais.
Oh la vache.
local
Joie, cailloux,
French
pépite,
media.
tout mélangé, c'est pas
Tout
grave.
mélangé, bah, une grande joie, ça a été après le Cap Horn, quand j'ai eu cette journée un peu plus cool. C'est vraiment des journées précieuses, des journées cool sur ces bateaux, parce qu'il n'y en a pas beaucoup. Et,
Staying the time
il y a eu
after
tous ces
Cape Horn
dauphins,
was
c'est un peu
probably
plus-
her favourite times.
A
little bit quieter.
Et après, côté cailloux et tout, bah, il y en a eu pas mal. J'ai eu un moment en tant que compétitrice qui a été assez difficile quand j'ai loupé le wagon pour être avec le groupe de devant. Et là, il faut réussir, on est au milieu au tout début du Pacifique, et il faut réussir à se remobiliser, à se dire allez, c'est jamais fini, on y retourne. On remet le-
Just talking about her favourite times in the race, I think, and
dur, mais qui a posteriori sont aussi gratifiants. Donc finalement, les petits cailloux, on en fait quelque chose.
Et des moments seuls, voilà, sur l'océan, de transcendance, il y en a eu ou peut-être pas.
Si, carrément, ouais, moi c'est vraiment ça qui me porte, les moments un peu de transcendance sur l'eau. C'est vrai que c'est plus difficile sur ces bateaux fermés qui vont très vite. C'est moins facile que.
just saying that the inside the boat you have less of a feeling for nature and what's going on.
Avec la nature. Mais il y en a eu plein, il y en a eu presque tous les jours.
There are lots of different things.
Ça peut être n'importe quoi, parfois une belle lumière, parfois juste la sensation du bateau.
Talking about the beautiful light from time to time, sunrises, sunsets.
Et j'ose cette question, mais prier à bord.
Ça m'est arrivé, mais c'est vrai que c'est un drôle d'univers. En fait, c'est plus qu'on est dans une connexion avec l'univers, avec la nature, et c'est vrai qu'on se sent un peu porté. Enfin, moi, je me sens pas toute seule en tout cas.
Et peut-être là, c'était une remontée du chenal officiel, vous êtes peut-être un peu retombé là, mais c'est quand même chouette cette remontée.
Ouais, carrément, ça enlève pas du tout de goût. J'ai eu la chance de vivre deux arrivées parce que j'ai eu La Rochelle aussi, et donc là, c'est trop bien.
Just talking about her the bonus of having 2 arrivals, 2 finishes,
D'être un peu moins éberlué,
or
un peu
2
moins dans la
channels.
nature, et de profiter un peu plus avec tout le monde.
and profited from them both, really.
Bravo Clarisse.
Merci à vous. Ouais. De cette course, qu'est-ce que je retiens? C'est une bonne question parce qu'après 77 jours,
What will she retain? What will she remember about this course?
Surtout le sentiment global de m'être tout le temps battue, d'avoir rien lâché, même dans les
So
moments
just saying that she has been in the fight the whole time, that's something that she'll remember.
Et donc du coup, je suis super contente de l'ambiance globale qu'il y avait dans ma tête.
Very happy with the feelings in her head
Je suis une
all
grande
the way
chanceuse
around.
de ce Vendée Globe finalement. Après avoir pensé que j'étais une grande malchanceuse parce que c'est vrai que la ligne d'arrivée c'était difficile quand on est tout seul et que personne peut monter à
It
bord.
was difficult to get to the finish line on her own.
Après 77 jours, mais finalement ouais, trop de chance, 2 arrivées. Que demander de plus? Une troisième.
You couldn't want for more.
Voilà. Merci.
C'est bon.
C'est bon?
Je peux aller au bateau.
Yeah? Good. Another one. We are missing a...
So we're going to do some team photos, I think.
There will be nobody left at the end. 2 days there is less.
So she will come up onto the official stage as a quick aerial shot off her extensive race village, which stays open, I think, till Wednesday this week.
Attends, parce que c'est pas facile, j'étais là.
Il y a Sam qui est là. On n'a pas vu.
Team picture.
She said we are missing quite a few people in the team, so we add family.
Perfect. There's a lot of those.
So we're just going to do some pictures, Dee, but really nice arrival for Clarisse.
Absolutely lovely. The people, the weather, the conditions, and you can just see the smile all over her face. But it's overwhelming sometimes. Yeah, and she even said, some of our team aren't here, but we'll just fill it with family because to her, she realizes she's a massive inspirational figure. This is making a huge difference to these kids' lives. They're going to look back at these photos and be like, wow, I was part of that. I mean, it's an incredible opportunity. It's overwhelming. She's just spent 77 days on her own. Yes, I know she's been in La Rochelle, but she stepped off the dock and was just like, what do I do now? And there's just such an array of people and stuff going on that you just need somebody to coordinate what happens. So these photos take place. We saw the hordes of the public trying to get into that race village to be in front of the stage when she'll go up on stage and address the public there. So it just gives them time to filter in.
As I said, so nice for the technical team to feel obviously the success of the boat finishing, but just to be acknowledged publicly like this is really an important return for them.
Massive. It's a solo race, but it's definitely a team effort to make it happen. And they're constantly, there ready to stand by should something happen and advice need to be passed on. And we've seen it quite a lot on the arrivals. I mean, I think one of the first signs just was a thank you to my team. And the fact that we have so many boats still racing in this Vendée Globe is testament to the preparation that these boats and teams have had and the effect that they've had and how hard they've worked and the skill level that has gone up in the level of preparation.
And the nice thing is Clarisse is just taking time to enjoy it. Of course, it's a protocol. It's funny with... it's actually Stan was saying the other day when she came in, the protocol was so quick she didn't get a chance to... everybody been asking her for days and days what she wanted to eat. And it was so quick that she didn't get a chance to eat it. And she was divvied along, And the organisation has been asking her for days what she wanted to eat and didn't get a chance. Missing, I'm capable of getting off the boat myself.
Oui, merci. C'est c'était chouette de t'avoir à côté de moi.
C'était cool.
Tu es fière? C'était trop bien. Trop cool. Et ça va, t'es reposée?
Ah non, je suis cramée.
Ah bah ouais, moi je suis éclatée.
There's Sam Davis there with her.
À la jambe.
Mais tu sais que t'as fait les tests de physique ou pas toi?
Non.
J'ai perdu 4 cm de tour de jambe.
Oui, bah, moi
Moi ça doit être pareil.
She's lost a lot of weight. It's Clarisse saying.
C'est vrai, moi aussi, elle est gentille avec. Non, mais là, elle était à la C, c'est plus comme elle m'a déjà. Enfin, on l'a fait tranquille. Et ça va, elle a été gentille avec moi, donc je suis contente. Elle a tellement changé. Au moins, Ruben, ça y est, il change pas en 2 mois, quoi.
Non,
Ça va.
c'est un peu différent. Ouais. C'est pas pareil.
Il te fait pas la gueule. Il te dit, bah, c'est bon.
On a même dansé ensemble.
Ah, trop mignon. C'est vrai? Oui, il a eu géré.
J'ai essayé de le laisser parce que normalement il veut partir.
Ouais.
Ah,
c'est trop mignon.
Il me suit partout, il s'ennuie parce que je lâche pas.
A beautiful chat, beautiful sunshine. Saturday afternoon chat between two fantastic
Une arrivée bonus, quoi.
sailors talking about their races and life after the race.
Bah, de toute façon, un samedi après-midi, c'est le plus facile. Ouais. Quitte à être arrivé pas quand je voulais, bah, finalement, j'ai choisi. Mais finalement, La Rochelle, c'était sympa.
Just talking about her choice of Saturday afternoon. Why not?
Le moment où tu étais en mer, machin, t'as 50 nœuds et on te dit à l'arrivée, il faut continuer et tout.
Just talking about when she was told by Alan that there was 50 knots in the bay.
Tu vois. Pas rentrer dans le chenal, mais. Ça va, Baltichou? T'es bien arrivé? Ça, c'est ouais, une partie de mes neveux et nièces.
Coucou, ça va?
Ouais, ils ont un beau bonnet.
Oui, je vois la famille, ils ont le droit à mettre le bleu et pas le jaune.
Oui, c'est ça. On dit, on fait la séparation. Oui, je vais dire coucou. Bon, à toutes.
À toutes. Profite.
Oui, merci Sam.
So lovely supporting words from Sam for Clarisse D.
Really nice. And those two spent so much of the race side by side, and we know that they all chatted during the race. So they would have been a great support for each other. And when you get that kind of instant sharing of an experience, to actually see each other face to face, I'm sure if we just gave them a drink and left them in the corner, they would have been there for another few hours, just rapping away like non-stop. And the fact that Clarisse is on a schedule that everybody needs her to get to the stage, they didn't want to let Sam carry on conversation with her.
Oui, c'est pas moi.
They don't really. There's time enough. This romance not until tomorrow. Anyway, Clarisse's fan club.
C'était génial. Merci.
Oh, trop bien.
Merci d'être venue. Vous étiez où?
On t'a mis une grosse ambiance,
Tu veux dire à la fin
Now, she may not be able to walk very far, having been on a 60-foot boat for 80 days and not going very far on her legs, but she says her arms are tired from waving and hugging everyone. But yeah, any Vendée Globe skipper can come in. You wouldn't want to arm wrestle them at the end of a race.
No, you would not.
Même après 5 jours, j'ai vraiment du mal. Oui, je vous suis.
Come on, let's go.
C'est des cookies. Trop bien.
She's not going anywhere quickly, Dee.
No, what's lovely is she's actually spending time to talk to every child that she sees along the way, and it's just so nice because, you know, we know what kind of impact that can make.
Oh. Jacko, that's the race direction team there.
I think I've found my earworm for the rest of the day. I'll be singing this song, thinking of Clarisse coming in today.
Only for the day. Oh well.
Yeah, will there be a new song when the next arrival comes?
What a lovely big crowd for Clarisse Crémer then.
Clarisse Crémer, bonjour et bienvenue. Quelques mots de Monsieur le Président du Vendée Globe, président du Conseil départemental de la Vendée. Bonjour. Bonjour, bonjour à tous. Je suis tellement heureux d'accueillir Clarisse.
So there we go. That is the arrival of 11th place Clarisse Crémer. 77 days, 15 hours, 34 minutes and 28 seconds. Being welcomed back to the heart of the Vendée town, to Les Sables d'Olonne, by the President, Monsieur Alain Leboeuf. We will finish our broadcast within the next few seconds. Thanks so much to Dee Cavari. Next
Absolute
finish
pleasure.
will
What an
be
experience.
indeed, our next finish will be Roman Atanasio, and Pip here will join us for that. But thank you so much for joining, and also join us for our final Vendée Globe Live tomorrow with Clarisse, which will be, of course, 13:30 UTC, 14:30 if you're in France. But what a beautiful afternoon to enjoy the finish of Clarisse Crémer.